You are now watching MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, one fourth of the Premier Boys Podcast, and your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV, exclusively on YouTube. Hope all is well. And today we have a special guest. She is a multimedia journalist. She is the founder of Life News Entertainment, and she is now the founder of Fox Hunter Club. We got Miss Brownie Marie in the building, and we're gonna talk about her dating app, everything that she's been doing, and many more. This was a really dope conversation, and I can't wait for y'all to watch this episode. And y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
This is Brownie Marie, founder of the Fox Hunters Club dating app, and you are listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I got my special guest. She is a multimedia journalist. She is the founder of Life News Entertainment, and she is also now the founder of Fox Hunter Club. We got Miss Brownie Marie in the building. Brownie, how you doing?
What's good? What's good? So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for coming on. I'm not gonna lie, I've been wanting you on the show since I started my show back in 2019. So I just happy to finally have you on the show. And yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been following your journey. Really proud of the work you've been putting in, you and your team. So happy to be here.
Yes, thank you for that. It really means a lot. But first thing first, we're gonna start with where are you from?
I grew up in Cleveland, so that's where I spent most of my life. And then I moved to the New York area in like 2012.
Okay, nice. New York in the building. Nice. So now I'm gonna ask you some warm up questions. So, how will you describe yourself in 3 words?
Confident, intelligent, loyal. I would say if I had to choose 3 words to sum me up, that's it. A lot of those are like Leo qualities as well. Shouts out to Leos. We just came out of Leo season. But I think that sums me up for better or worse.
I ain't gonna lie, those are really good choices. Those are really good choices. All right, give me one thing that bring you peace.
Sleeping. Um, and I don't mean that I'm just like, okay, everyone needs to like get the rest. I mean, like, it really does something for me. Like, I feel changed when I take a nap. I don't really get the opportunity to do that as much as I used to, but even like a 20-minute power nap, I just feel like a reset. Like when you reset a computer, it's really important to me. I need like 10 hours of sleep, which is a lot. And you can imagine I probably don't usually get that. But when I do get that, I'm like a new person. It just changes everything about me. I tend to be like a kind of intense type of personality. And I think that getting that kind of reset balances me out, brings me peace.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not take sleep serious or two like recently now. 'Cause I didn't. Cause
Yeah,
these days is very important. So I know I never used to sleep like that. Now I sleep a lot now. So I go a lot. Sleep is very important. So I agree with you
for
on that.
sure. And the kind of grind, especially in the New York area, it's like, okay, you always got to hustle and be on and, sleep when you die type of
Yeah,
messaging.
yeah.
I'm like, I need to sleep right now, or I feel like I'm
Fact.
dying. So yeah,
No,
pushing that message.
that's definitely a fact. That's definitely a fact. And what is in your headphones right now? It could be an album, a song, or even a podcast. What's in your headphones right
Actually, I don't know if this is controversial, but R. Kelly,
now?
TP2, TP2.com. I haven't listened to that album in years and years, and it still hits like when it first came out. So I know I'm probably going to get some hate for that, but R. Kelly, TP2.
I mean, mixed feelings. You know, you gonna get mixed reactions.
I know,
A lot of
I
people,
know.
shockingly enough, people do listen to R. Kelly, and despite what he did, he is one of the greatest. I'm not gonna hold it. Yeah, he is one of the greatest.
One of the freaking greatest. Yeah.
Let's talk about your life journey. So, how was you growing up?
I felt really bored in Cleveland. I kept waiting for something to happen. Like, oh, I can't wait till I get older. I can't wait till I go to college. I can't, just feeling like those next stages would bring more for me. And they did. But when I graduated from college, I ended up going back to Cleveland because I just didn't have the courage to move somewhere by myself. I knew that wherever I moved to, I'd probably not know anyone, and I wasn't ready to do that yet. But it ended up being a blessing because I started working with indie artists in Cleveland. My brother was producing music. I had friends that were rapping and singing and things like that. And I saw an opportunity there because they didn't have publicists, they didn't have managers, they didn't have people around them. So I was writing bios, press releases, writing articles, I was interviewing them. That's what kicked me off actually into entertainment journalism. I started a blog. From there, I started writing for examiner.com. That's when things blew up for me and getting celebrity interviews and things like that, even when I was still in Cleveland. And that's what encouraged me to move to New York by myself. So, everything happens for a reason. The journey has been kind of full circle. I see the things that I've been through and the things that I've learned, how it's even influencing the app that I developed. So now I haven't hired a publicist yet. I might in the future, but right now I can write my own press releases. I can reach out to media because I have a lot of media contacts and people with podcasts and et cetera. So it's like, wow, this, all was for something great. And I've also inspired a lot of folks along the way. People have reached out saying, you inspired me to start a magazine. You inspired me to be a journalist. So it's been a really great journey, starting from humble beginnings in Cleveland.
And I thought that is really dope. And you are killing it. But
Thank
we're
you.
gonna dive more into that. We're gonna talk about all of that. We're gonna dive more into all of that. But before we get to that, how all that you've been through made you the person you are today?
Yeah, I think that early on I learned to be independent, confident, even when you're not feeling confident, to show confidence. So I learned that very early. I think part of it is also being like an army brat, having to move all the time, being the new kid all the time. That kind of forces you either to step up or step back. So all of those things drove me to be ambitious. They encouraged me to step out on my own and take chances. I don't have a fear that I notice like a lot of people will have, like they don't want to leave a job even though they hate it because, what if I don't get something? What if the next job is worse? What if I don't have those kind of what ifs anymore? Same thing with relationships. I'm just going to stay with this person because at least I know them and I don't want to. Nah, like I've been kind of quick to like drop folks. So I think all of those experiences have affected my personal and professional life for better or worse again, but it's made me who I am.
No, I ain't gonna lie, that's really dope. That's really dope. But you just mentioned that you are a journalist.
Yeah.
So what made you want to go that route? And what was your first journalist job?
So I've always been a good writer. Like in school and everything, those were like classes I did well in. Those are projects I did well in, was writing. I'm trying to think of what actually made me start blogging. I think blogging was just becoming a thing. Writing was just becoming a thing. I saw some news stories and the quality was kind of low. And I was like, I could do this. I could do this a little better, actually. Like, you ever read a news article and there's like typos?
Yeah.
Or like grammatical errors? Or like it doesn't give the information, or they're talking about getting the information from another source and they don't cite the source. Just things I was like, I could do this? And it was interesting to me because I did have an interest in entertainment news and pop culture and things like that. So I think a combination of me being good at it, seeing that there was a market for it, because we really didn't have like quality like journalism. I could really name folks in the Cleveland area who were doing their things as far as reporting, other than maybe like the mainstream news stations. But like that indie blogging really wasn't a thing. Even podcasting wasn't really a thing yet. I was one of the first folks in Cleveland to have a podcast as a woman. A lot of the men were DJs who also had a podcast, but it was really about them being a DJ, you know, so they would just play music and mixes and then talk. But other than like the mainstream radio stations, there wasn't a lot of that. So that's a whole nother thing. But I think that also the need where my friends needed someone to write for them and help them promote their music and things like that encouraged me. And the first paid job I got was examiner.com. That's the first company that actually paid me to write. Shouts out to them. I wouldn't have moved to New York. A lot of things wouldn't have happened if it was. They're out of business now, but that was a really, really great. I could see like where my life turned a corner after working with them.
That's really dope, and you did a lot of amazing things. But of course, that don't stop. You done even more amazing things. But you just mentioned that you did podcasting before.
Yeah.
I know one thing you told me, like you mentioned that you were a co-host on the Nino's Soul podcast.
Yeah.
And also you had another podcast show called Party Time with Brownie.
Yeah.
So tell us about those shows and how was the experience doing those shows?
Oh, that was great. That was my introduction to the podcasting world. DJ Quest 95, he's passed away. Rest in peace to him. Was one of those folks, like I said, DJs who also had a podcast. He brought me on as his co-host, and we had really spike in views when we had certain episodes and putting the conversation out there. Social media was just getting started as well, but it really created a buzz. It led me to the opportunity to have my own show. Shouts out to LC, aka Metro, down in Miami. So MOC Radio is the station, online internet station that gave me an opportunity to have my own weekly show. And I did that every week for years. I did that when I started in Cleveland. And then when I moved to Brooklyn, I kept doing it. Moved to Jersey City, kept doing it. So it was a large part of my life. Got to interview a lot of celebrities for Party Time with Brownie. I had some folks in Cleveland that were literally copying my show. Like, even like the name of it, like it was ridiculous. But I'm inspiring people, even people that are hating on you or copying you. It's a form of just flattery. You know, imitation is a form of flattery, as they say. But those shows really taught me discipline in a lot of ways, being committed to doing something every week, not wanting to let listeners down. It also brought me a lot of, I'm not going to say fans, because I don't have like a lot of fans, but I have some people who started following me back then that still follow me now, that still support me. When I started Life Entertainment News, they subscribed. When I started Fox Hunters Club, they became members, and they still follow and support me and retweet and all of that on social media today. So really good opportunity doing the podcast thing. Although I don't think I would go back to it just because I have other focuses now. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
You know what's funny? That was my next question, like a random question. I would ask you, if you had the opportunity to do it again, would you do it again? That's funny that you were I'm going to throw that out there, but
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, you yourself, you know, producing your own show, hosting your own show. It's a lot of work. And now I just have like other priorities essentially, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But is there any way, if we want to listen to those shows, is there any way we go listen to it now, even to this day, or no?
You know what? I tried to find some old episodes and I couldn't. I tried to like pull the old episodes, like maybe I don't know if they're archived or what, but I have some myself. I might like kind of release some snippets along the way because I still have some saved to my hard drive.
Yeah, nice. But funny, I love how the conversation is going because it's like a lot of segues.
Yeah.
So I know the next thing we're gonna talk about is Life Entertainment News. How did that started?
I kept getting laid off from writing jobs. So I moved to New York with this idea I was going to be an entertainment journalist and, et cetera, et cetera. And had a lot of success, a lot of, red carpets and celebrities, and a lot of great opportunities, met a lot of people. But it was freelance work. And I kept getting laid off. And I wasn't making a lot of money. Not that I was doing it for the money, but, certainly would help. Yeah. So then I ended up having to get a full-time job and then just writing on the side. And then I was still getting laid off. So after I got hired by Top Buzz as a freelance writer. This was during COVID. And I got laid off and I was just done. I was just done getting laid off for something that was really, at that point, like a side project, hobby type of thing. When you get laid off, especially when a site shuts down, they'll remove all of your articles. So everything I wrote from examiner.com is gone. Everything I wrote for access.com is gone. Top Buzz gone. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Like, that sucks. That sucks. These great interviews that you put a lot of time into and articles that you're proud of are just gone with the wind. Sometimes they give you a little notice that they're going to be shutting down, so you can like download everything. But it sucks. And I was tired of it. And so it was during COVID. I had a lot of time. And I said, I'm going to just start my own site. And I should have done this a long time ago. I had the blog site back in the day, but this was going to be an entertainment news site. I had a couple of my friends that were writers come on and help. I put up my old articles. So I was able to like republish them, which felt really good. So that it's there. That won't be snatched down again. And I focus heavily on the newswire section because I get so many press releases emailed to me from publicists trying to get me to cover their client or their event. And obviously I just don't have the time or energy or interest a lot of times to actually cover it or interview or whatever the case. But what I can do is publish your press release for you, put it on the newswire section, put it out on socials. So the publicist's like, oh, I appreciate that. Cause that's still like a click for them. They have to report like how many of their clients and things they're trying to promote actually get coverage. That's part of how they get paid. So they're like, oh, great, sure. Like, it's fine that you can't do the interview, but if you could post a press release, and I'm like, done. Cause that's just an easy, maybe like 10 minutes for me. So Life Entertainment News has been a blessing. I don't put a lot of energy into it anymore just because of Fox Hunters Club priority, but I still want to keep that credential. It still helps when I do want to attend and cover an event. I have that media credential. If I want to, interview someone, if I come across them, I can actually put the interview up and I don't have to worry, is my editor going to approve this? When is it going to go out? It's mine, So Life Entertainment News, that's something that I'll probably, I want to say always keep going in some capacity. I would like to, at least that would be the goal. And I still have my subscribers who are like looking for content, purchasing merch and things like that. So yeah, that's one of my babies, Life Entertainment News.
That is dope. And if my audience wants to read your article, where can they read the Life Entertainment News?
Oh yeah, I guess I should plug the site, huh? It's lifeentertainmentnews.com, lifeentertainmentnews.com. On socials is Life ENT News.
Dope. Like I said, you killing it. You say I'm killing it. You killing it. You're like you do a lot. And you also now got the Fox Hunter Club. But before we get to the Fox Hunter Club, I really do want to talk about that. You mentioned about you interview many guests from Wycliffe John, Carmela Anthony, just to name a few. So if you had to pick a dream guest to interview at any time, who would it be? Name 3 people.
So Denzel is the first person that comes to mind. Denzel Washington, my favorite actor, a lot of people's favorite actor. That would be a dream. Haven't even met him yet. I would be, privileged just to meet him. Maxwell is my favorite singer. I've met Maxwell like at meet and greets, and like at events, but I've never interviewed him. I actually reached out to his publicist to try to interview him. And she was like, oh, like he doesn't have time. And she like pushed me off to another artist, which I was happy to interview. But so yeah, Maxwell being my favorite singer. I would love to interview Maxwell. I would say Michael Kors would be really cool. I own a lot of his products. I like his mission around like social justice and equality. I haven't met him, but he seems like he'd be cool. He seems like he'd be like fun, a little snarky, sarcastic, but we'd have a great time and crack up laughing. One of those interviews where I like actually enjoy the guest a lot. So I think those are the three that I would call out.
No, those are good choices. I mean, of course, Denzel's a legend. Michael Kors, dope. Maxwell, definitely a really dope artist.
Yeah.
But by the way, he just released a Tiny Desk series recently. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like
how did I miss this?
Literally, like I think last week. I think like it just came out. It literally just came out.
Okay.
But yeah. Maxwell is Maxwell is a dope artist. So I'm not gonna hold you. He's a dope artist. So now let's get to it. So you started a new venture called the Fox Hunter Club. So tell us, what is this Fox Hunter Club exactly? What is it?
Like, can you believe I started a dating app like from scratch, like a dating app? It's crazy. I did that during COVID. I started working on it during COVID. And we just officially launched in April of this year, 2024. So I worked on it, you could say on and off for like 4 years. Big undertaking, a lot of uncertainty and things like that in the meantime. But the Fox Hunters Club, what makes it unique, it's a million dating apps out there.
Yeah.
What makes it unique is it's for millennial women who want committed relationships, serious relationships with Gen X or older men. So you would think like no one's doing that. No one's doing that. So right now, if you're looking for like that kind of age gap relationship, there's only sugar baby apps. So it's for people who want to be a sugar daddy, sugar baby, transactional relationship. Also, a lot of those apps are skewed for younger women, college women, and like older men. Is that idea that it's like a young college girl who's attractive and she's struggling, and then some older man with money that like gives her money and takes her on trips. Like this is the image that these apps are putting out as far as their marketing. So no one is having that serious relationship component to it, which is really disappointing. My interest has always been men that were older than me, and it's never been a sugar baby relationship. That's not the point. I'm not looking for money from these men. I don't need their money. People assume that when you date someone that's older, they see like a younger woman and an older man, they assume she's a sugar baby. So I'm trying to break down a lot of these stigmas, but that's what Fox Hunters Club is about. And we launched in New York, and then moved into Jersey, Central Jersey, South Jersey, and Philly. We just launched in Philly on August. I don't remember the date. It was like mid-August. I should know.
But first thing first, congrats to that, because that is
Thank you.
Amazing thing, and that's amazing. I'm not gonna hold it, because it is a lot of more people that need dating apps, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Congrats to you on that.
Thank you.
Second, I can't be a part of it because I'm not even in the age bracket, so I like things.
Okay.
That's a dope. Can they download it now on where can they download it?
Yeah, so it's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. So whether you have an iPhone or Android, you can get onto the Fox Hunters Club.
Nice, that's dope. And once again, congrats to you on that. So
Thank you.
So what do you want your audience to get out of the Fox Hunter Club?
I really want folks to find their person. A lot of these apps, if you ever use the dating app, they give you so many options about what you're looking for. Looking for something casual? Are you looking to hook up? Are you looking for a friend? That is not why, in my opinion, that is not why you should be on a dating app. You should be on a dating app for dating, which hopefully will lead to something real, and you can delete the app and you can be done with the mess. because it's a mess out here, honestly.
Gee Louise.
It's a mess. I really want people to find their person. If you are the type of person that wants to be in a relationship that's healthy and happy and that you're building together, I want that to be a reality. And I'm speaking to millennial women as a millennial myself. A lot of my single friends are in their mid 30s, late 30s, still single, don't want to be, and they're dating men that are acting like they're in their 20s. The men are cheating, they're lying, they don't want to settle down, they're pretending they want a relationship when they don't. We're too old for that. We're too old. And I've been preaching this since I was younger. Even then, like, you're not going to have someone, if you're in your 20s, a man in his 20s generally is not going to be trying to settle down. But unfortunately, the same is true now. If you were a 35-year-old woman, a 35-year-old man probably is not going to be where you are. He may or may not. But guess what? Somebody maybe in their early 40s, mid 40s might be in a different place. Somebody who might be 50 or in his mid 50s, he's probably already been married before, already has kids.
Yeah.
And another thing that comes with it, you get treated way differently. My experience, I had someone ask me on social, like, oh, why would you date an older man if it's not for money? So it was like, I got to open her eyes a little bit. Like, the way you are treated for me is night and day. Night and day. You're actually going on dates. He's actually planning dates, not just this, oh, let's hang out. Oh, what are you up to? This? No, you plan something. I hear these complaints from women all the time. My friends and family members are going through it right now. I was going through it when I was single. It's like, these are time wasting people. They just want to hang out. If you are free, then okay, let's go do, no, plan something. Just that simple thing, courting someone. It's something that unfortunately men of a certain age weren't taught or weren't expected to do. And older men, it's like second nature. It's like, of course. So I got more attention. I got more of what I wanted. I got more honesty, even if they weren't, like, a lot of them have been married before and they would say, I don't ever want to get married again. Cool. But they would tell you that right up front. Yeah, they're not playing this game of, I'm going to pretend like I want to settle down when they actually have no attention and they have all these other women. Yeah. So I can talk about this forever, but I really want my millennial women.
You got time.
I really want my millennial women to just step outside the box. There's an assumption like, oh, he's older, like he's fat or he's bald or he's like unattractive. If you look at older men, that's not the case. Like, if you look at a lot of the guys, they're like, say, in their 40s or 50s right now, they're taking care of themselves. They're in shape. They're still like active and fun and want to travel and do things. So it's not like you're taking care of some old man. People have this impression of like kind of the Anna Nicole situation. No disrespect to her, rest in peace. But you don't have to be with an old 80-year-old man in a wheelchair when I say older man. I had one woman ask me, I told her about the app and she kind of frowned and she's like, well, how old are the men? Well, how old do you want them to be? You choose on the app what age range you're looking for. And that's the people that you will see presented to you as you like swipe through and try to get a match. So if you're looking for someone 100 years old, cool. If you're only looking for someone a few years older than you, cool. Someone your own age, that's cool too. Like, all of those options are available for you within the app. But I just want my millennial women, try something different. Speaking to the women, because the men, you don't even have to like convince them. They're like, oh yeah, sure. Like a younger woman, I'd love that. There's no, barrier. And on most dating apps, is mostly men, like 60-40, men to women. But for the women, I'm putting the message out there that when I say older man, I don't mean a grandpa, although he might be one. I don't mean necessarily a grandpa, if that's not what you want. I don't mean someone where you're changing his diapers and you can't go anywhere and he's near death. That's not at all what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, that's where people's mind goes. So it's a lot of education also, as I'm talking about the app, that you can have something that is what you've always wanted. And maybe you need to look outside of that age range that you've been dating in order to find that.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for
Yeah.
creating this ad because it's definitely needed.
Yeah.
And I do agree, not only on the women's side but on the men's side. At least for me, I should say, they in this generation been really different,
Yep.
really different. From the dating apps, from going out, it been really different. Like you said, it definitely is a mess.
It's a
It
mess. I mean, the
is
way that
a
our
mess.
culture is now is a mess. Everything is
Yeah,
like texting instead of phone calls,
yeah,
texting instead of actually going on a date. It's like Instagram DMs.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
how you meet someone is how you meet them, but then how are you going to get to know that
Hold
person
up,
and
yeah,
keep them? I'm not going to get to know you over text. Like, come on now. There would be times when I was on dating apps. We're chatting on the app, get to know each other, like the basics. What do you do? How old are you? Do you have kids? Blah blah.
yeah, yeah,
And then you get to a point where you're like, we're gonna exchange numbers, and then exchange numbers, and then it's still texting. It's not phone
yeah,
calls, and then it's texting or maybe even calls for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, are we gonna go on a date? Like,
mm,
come on now. It's really disappointing, especially when you're actively trying to find someone
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're putting in that time and you're on the app. I mean, it's exhausting. It's
yeah.
like having another job when you're actually trying to find someone on these apps. And on top of
Yeah,
that, I was going out in person too. So
yeah,
I was
yeah,
on the apps and I would go out in real life and go to bars or lounges or go to events or hang out in the city, meet up with my girls, trying to find a dude. And that's tiring. Like
yeah,
you go
yeah,
to an event and you're looking around and you see maybe a couple guys that are attractive, and then you see, okay, they're married. Or you see a couple guys that are attractive, but then like they don't come over and talk to you. They're like talking to other people. So it's just like you're spinning your wheels. That's one of the good things about dating apps. You don't have to wait for like that person at the grocery store that may be attractive, may be interested in you. Hopefully they're single, et cetera, et cetera. You can just swipe on through. You can see right there what they do, how old they are, if they have kids, if they want kids. That's questions I ask on my app. And then, you can get your impression of them and you can swipe and it's on to the next one. So that's one of the good things about apps. Is it's kind of like quick turnover. But the idea is to get off the app.
yeah,
Get off the
yeah.
app, step out in real life, find that person, try it out. And once you get, I mentioned this previously, once you find someone you're interested in, focus on them. You don't have to have 20 different people you're trying to text and get to know at the same time. If there's someone that you're interested in, give those other people, the door.
I agree.
And you can always find more people. Like there's no shortage. But I think part of it is people don't really want it. They say they want a relationship or they say they want
Yeah,
to get married. They actually don't want it. They want something to just fall in their lap. People
mm,
aren't willing to compromise. I mean, they got this wish list of what they're looking for. It's like, come on now. What is someone's character? How do they treat you?
yeah, yeah,
How do they treat themselves? How do they treat other people? Those are really the things that matter and that last. Are they honest? Do they have integrity? Do they respect you? A lot of things you can work on.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
work on it, but getting those kind of core qualities are important to me. And honestly, my women are really they're being played right now. There's a lot of attention going to, I would say, the easier, younger generation, as far as men in their, let's say, late 30s or 40s who can pull someone in their 20s.
Mm,
And it can be very easy. They don't have to really lift a finger. They don't have to really do any work. It just doesn't take a lot because that person in their 20s isn't really looking for a lot. And then they're like buying her things. So it goes back to the sugar baby, sugar daddy
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
which is promoted a lot in our culture. Reality shows and social media. And
yeah,
I have male family members telling me they'll meet a girl and they want to take her to dinner. And she's like, oh, I don't want to go there. I want to go to like some fancier restaurant. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and I remember the whole controversy about Cheesecake Factory that was going on
Oh, yeah,
social
right,
media.
right,
Like
yeah,
people act like they're too good for something, or you're not even with the person. They're like, "Oh,
yeah,
when you gonna fly me out? When we're gonna go to Mexico? What?" But
yeah,
this is something that they're seeing online, and they think this is
yeah.
real life. They
Mm,
want like designer bags as gifts, and like we just met. They want money and their bills paid, and we just met. Like we're in a kind of nonsense time, and this generation is not a quality generation when it comes to dating, in my opinion. So again, if you want to go back to those values, if they are your values, you might have to look at someone in a different age bracket depending on how old you are. So that's kind of my messaging that I have for my family and friends right now. And they're actually starting to listen to me now that they're older. A lot of them want kids, and they kind of have that clock ticking where they feel like they want to get a baby before they turn 40. It's like, I don't know if you're going to make it. You might want to freeze your eggs, because by the time you meet someone, date them, get engaged, get married, etc., then have a baby, that could be, 4 years right there, 5 years.
Yeah.
Hi. I don't want kids. I don't have kids. And honestly, I see that as a blessing in my life, for me personally, because it puts a pressure on you that you wouldn't normally necessarily have. You're looking at everyone like, is this a good father? You got this clock ticking. Like, are we going to be able to get married in the next 2 years? Like, that's a rush and like a stress on the relationship that I don't need or want. But a lot of my girls do want kids. So it's a real thing that they have to consider, and trying to reevaluate their dating choices in light of that.
And I happy that you brought up about the whole Cheesecake Factory and stuff like that, because I agree with you. This generation is different.
Yeah.
It's different. Like, geez Louise, like go back to courting and stuff like that. Like,
right.
They used to do it. Like, it's, and for me at age 37, it's hard for me to even date myself. So
right. So no, it's tough. If you're a good quality guy, respectful, etc., don't treat women like trash, you meet a lot of trash women, unfortunately. And you're like, where are like the quality? Like, it's really tough, especially for the men. I think it's easier for women to date an older man. Whereas if you're a man in your late 30s, you're probably not looking for a woman to be like in her late 40s or 50s necessarily. So then if you're looking at someone your own age or younger, they may or may not be on your level, unfortunately. So it's tough. I don't want to leave the men out of it, thinking that they just have it all gravy. If you are a good guy, you have it tough right now. You have it really tough, because we are in just a crazy nonsense mess of a generation and culture, unfortunately. I agree. And it's like, what can you do for me type of culture.
Yeah, that's a fact. Even though I don't got it together, I ain't gonna hold you, but that's why I've been focused on me first. So when that time come, that person comes, then I'll be ready. So
exactly. That's my messaging. And that's also another reason why I'm targeting millennial women and not women that are Gen Z. Because I want women on the app who already have their own career, their own money, their own goals. They know what they want. Because that's another reason why when you do have someone that's older, maybe more established, whatever the fact, it's not intimidating. You already have your own. You're not looking for him to do things for you. You're doing it yourself. I mean, there are things that are a plus, a nice to have when you have a partner, but it's not a must. So that's kind of also the messaging, kind of breaking down that sugar baby, sugar daddy mentality, which is just pervasive nowadays. So yeah, definitely working on yourself, getting yourself to a position where you're a great partner. That is number one before even getting on an app, before even trying to date and have a relationship.
Yes. And I just want to say thank you for that conversation, because that was a good conversation. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good conversation. So thank you for that conversation.
Thank you.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, and you spoke a little bit about this, but we're gonna dive more into it. We wasn't in a pandemic. I guess we're still in it. But so my question to you is, how did the pandemic affect you, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, that was a really, really tough time. And I lost a lot of people. A lot of people passed away, unfortunately, during the pandemic. I'm a very social person. I didn't realize how much until the pandemic. I guess you take it for granted when you can always leave the house. You can, especially in New York, there's always something to do. I can always hit someone up and meet up, or go out by myself and meet new people. And I have no problem doing that by myself a lot. But not having that option it was suffocating for me. Suffocating. And I live at the time, I was living by myself. I don't have like a pet or anything. It was just quiet. I was working from home. I needed that outlet. And I told myself I'm never doing this again. Like hopefully this will never happen again. But if we are ever in a situation where we're in a pandemic, can't leave the house, everything's closed, etc., I am getting on a plane if they let me, or I'm just going to drive if they don't let me. And I'm going someplace that allows me to be outside of the house. Like, do you remember how New York was closed and like Texas was wide open? And like Florida was open?
Yeah.
I'm going down. I am going down to one of those states because I'm not going through this again. So one thing I learned about myself, I have to have the social outlet. I have to be able to see my friends, spend time with them. I missed that a lot. I ended up actually going to Florida like a couple months into the pandemic. My girl and I, they were kind of shut down, but there's still the beach there and there's still people out and things like that. It was eye-opening for me. I also kind of shifted gears thinking about career. I don't want a position that would shut down during a pandemic. A lot of people went out of work and, things just kind of spiraled from there. So I think that also informed me choosing, because I was looking to start a business. And I think that's one of the things that informed me choosing online websites and an online dating app versus like a brick and mortar business that I was considering, because something like that is going to be shut down during the pandemic and rent is still due. They put like a moratorium on it, but it's just adding up. It's not being forgiven. So yeah, it had me reevaluating a lot of things and hopefully not taking so many things for granted in regards to the freedoms that we have. That was tough.
No, I agree, because during the pandemic, I dealt with a lot myself, from losing
Yeah.
a lot of people, from dealing with a lot of anxiety and stuff like that, and not doing much, because, I used to be a promoter also before the pandemic, and then now having that kind of shift skills for that too. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot, man. A lot of people left, moved away.
Yeah.
And then when things shifted from an office to working from home, even more people left.
Yeah.
So yeah, dealing with that also.
Yeah, but also during the pandemic, a lot of us dealt with a lot of mental health issues as well, a lot of mental health challenges as well. So my question to you is, why mental health is so important, and what challenges do you have to deal with mental health?
Oh my gosh, I was so depressed during the pandemic. So that's also coming out of the isolation and not having any type of social outlet, being bored out of my mind, and also just trying to think, all right, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do now? It's still not talked about enough, I don't think, especially in the Black community.
Yeah.
Where, we just assume that everyone has it tough, everyone has problems, and you don't really complain about it. Realize how grateful you are. Things could always be worse. Like, that's the kind of messaging that you hear a lot. And also just an expectation that you're going to be so strong because, we are strong.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. Something that more recently, for me, if I'm getting really stressed out, is like anxiety, which, like, when I was younger, I don't remember experiencing that. But I have to make sure that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with our peace and sleep and etc.
Yeah.
I can realize when I'm getting like too stressed out or upset about something, overthinking about something and anxious. I have to take a couple of steps back. I have CBD gummies that I've been taking. The idea that I can like work from home certain days isn't a reality for me right now like it was in the past. But I'm going to be having that soon, which I'm really grateful for that opportunity, because just days where I just don't want to deal with folks that day, just taking like a personal day.
Yeah.
But I don't even have to take the time off necessarily. I could just work from home, kind of work at my own pace. And then I can kind of have that kind of self-care that I'm not able to have if I'm at work all day. Yeah. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it doesn't get a lot of attention until something happens, until there's some type of crisis or we lose someone. But and especially for women, the rates of depression and anxiety are high, and I don't think that we really talk about it as much as we should. And I'm sure that for men, I don't know, like in male friend groups, if that's really discussed at all, especially in the black community. But for me, myself, I talk about wellness. I used to be like a wellness educator back in the day. The idea of meditation, yoga, healthy snacks, healthy eating. There's just things that you can do along the way that helps with your inner peace, that hopefully when things do take a turn, you have those kind of resources that you can go back to deal with them in healthier ways. Because that's another thing, unhealthy coping mechanisms, better ways to handle stress, better ways to handle anger, depression, anxiety than ways that are harmful. So yeah, the pandemic made me evaluate some more things like that as well.
Same here. I agree because one thing I want to do on this show now is talk about this because a lot of people have different stories and like I said, it's not showcased enough. So I decided to make it showcase even more now because it is important, especially since I've been dealing with it too with anxiety and depression. So it's a lot and need to be spoke about. So like I said, thank you for sharing that and thank you for sharing your story. So let's switch gears a little bit to more positive stuff. So what is your dream venture? Like something that you always want to do, but you never got a chance to do it.
Oh man, I've had so many ideas in the past. There's a lot of things that different paths I could have gone on, like things that I felt like I could have been good at that just didn't pursue for a lot of reasons. I'm really good with like research and investigations. I always had like kind of an idea of being like a private investigator, like a PI, or having like my own firm doing that. That is something that I probably won't end up doing. Another thing I really love are animals. I volunteered a lot with different rescue groups, animal shelters. I've done fostering of animals. And I had this idea that I would have like an animal rescue, like a sanctuary where they could just live out their lives, without fear of being euthanized or anything like that. And people can come and adopt them. So that's another thing that I thought that maybe in the future I would do. I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. But there's a lot of different things that I like and that I'm interested in, that I am passionate about in some areas. But it's like you only have so much time in the day. I'm the type of person, like I'll start a project and then I'll put it down and I won't pick it back up. I started a television script years ago and I thought it was really good and then put it down, didn't pick it back up. I started a book years ago, like a children's book, put it down, didn't pick it back up. So it's like, when you say like dream ventures, there's like 100 things probably I can think of that I knew would be successful, that I was interested in, and that maybe I started or didn't start, had the idea and didn't move forward with it. But, I have to make kind of sacrifices now as I think about the amount of time that I have, having a day job, having Fox Hunters Club that I'm not going to give up on. I've like committed to myself that this is not going to be yet another project that I put down and didn't pick up. And then also my personal life. I got engaged recently. So I have to spend, thank you. So, spending time with my fiance, also trying to find time for my friends. We moved down to the Philly area, so I'm not in New York as often, but trying to connect with my girls where I can, traveling when I can. Is just, and again, not wanting to overwhelm myself and build up my, stress, anxiety, especially when it comes to planning a wedding. So there's a lot of probably dream ventures where if I could clone myself, I would be doing probably at least 3 or 4 more things right now.
No, I agree with you because it's a lot of stuff that I want to do as well. I also agree. I just started a TV script too, but then I started. I've been doing the same thing too. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but it's so much that you could do, and but anything possible. Anything possible. So, yeah.
You never know.
And also congrats on the engagement too. By the way, that's dope.
Thank you.
So, what other projects that you do got going on that you have not spoke about yet?
I don't know if there's a thing. So right now, what I'm working on is determining the next launch city. Like I said, we just launched in Philly, and I'm reaching out to different media outlets about that. We just did a partnership for a homeless outreach event called Blessing in the Bag with a local nonprofit. That was really great. It's called One Kind Act a Month is the name of the nonprofit. So, doing more in the Philly area, I might do like a happy hour kind of hosted event. Because the outreach event was in Camden, so South Jersey, like 15 minutes from Philly, but probably less, probably more like 5 minutes from Philly. But I might do something in actual Philly, do an event there, maybe partner with one of the organizations. Just still trying to figure that out. But right now, I'm trying to see what's the next city going to be. Is it going to be Boston, or is it going to be the DMV area, the DC area? So I've been thinking about how I want to approach this. If I want to do like surveys, kind of solicit information from the general public. Because my plan was to initially kind of go south, travel south with the app launching. But I had someone reach out to me saying, don't forget about Boston, Rhode Island, Delaware. Well, Delaware is like closer to here, but the like New England states.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to put the resources there. I have a cousin that lives there and spoke with her, got her opinion what the kind of dating scene is, the single scene. But I think I need more data. So do a little research, see what the market is like. But I think that's really my next project, is determining what the launch cadence is going to be. People have been asking me, when you come into Atlanta. Atlanta is going to be a big launch. So many people are already interested. People have already signed up in Atlanta. People asking, when are you going to come to Tampa? So, Florida is going to be like another whole thing, hitting those key cities there. But yeah, it's a lot. And again, try not to overwhelm myself. It's just me. I don't have like a team of people helping me. So yeah, that's what's next for me, is figuring out what the launch plan is going to be.
No, that's amazing. Like I said, keep doing amazing things. You are killing it.
Thank
so
you.
Keep going. So what do you have to say for anybody that's going the same route you? Say something inspirational. Like with the dating app, you being a journalist, everything. Say something inspirational.
I would say the key is, if it's something you want, don't give up. As we were talking about those projects that I started and put down, I think it really speaks to my commitment to them, right? Because if it was something that I actually really wanted, I wouldn't have given up. We kind of mentioned it when we were talking about folks dating and trying to find a partner. Do they actually want it? Or they just want some image of that would be, or they think that you should have a partner by now because of their age, or whatever the case. But actually, do you want it? Because it's a lot of work, whether we're talking about dating or we're talking about a business, starting a business, running a business. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of opportunities to give up. There's a lot of second guessing. Did I make the right decision? Am I on the right path? Should I go left? Should I go right? It's a lot of time and money involved. So if it's something that you actually really want and you know it in your heart, then don't give up on it. It may take longer than you expected. You may have to, stop and start, or pull back a little bit and then go forward. All of that is normal. You'll see a bunch of kind of like GIFs and things like that about entrepreneurship and what that journey looks like. And it's not just like a straight line, like it's kind of like a spikes up and down type of thing, because it's a lot of work. But the important thing is believe in yourself. Don't give up.
That is definitely a good message. That is definitely a good mission. So before you go, we will play a segment game called 5 Random Topic, where I ask you 5 random topic and you just answer. It could be a short response, long response. It's up to you.
Okay.
And I would join in with you on this. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So the first thing is, what is your favorite food?
Pizza.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. No, I eat a lot. I like a lot of food, but of course my favorite is Thai food.
Oh, okay. That's
Thai food,
delicious.
yeah, but I do like pizza too. I do like pizza too. So, okay, what is your favorite romantic movie?
Oh, I don't know if I really like romantic movies, to be honest, but The Notebook wasn't bad. And what about Titanic? Does that count as romantic?
In a way, yeah. In a way, yeah.
Anyway,
In a
okay.
way, yeah. If I had to say, this is kind of hard. I'm gonna say there's one movie called A Walk to Remember, which is an amazing
Okay.
war movie. Yeah, that was pretty sad. I'm gonna say one.
Oh
That was really sad. Yeah, it was really sad. One
no.
funny
Okay.
movie. I'm gonna say Hitch, Will Smith movie. Hitch,
Okay.
Eva Mendes, and I guess we could say Love Jones. I'm gonna say Love Jones as well.
Okay.
So that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Next we're gonna say what is the best first date for you?
Um, I like live music and some food and drinks. Yeah,
Okay.
that seems like kind of the easy go-to, but I think it's a classic date.
No, that is. I'm actually agree with you. I would say walk in the park, um, food, drinks, stuff like that, and yeah, something fun. I like something fun for a first
Yeah.
date. Okay, I mean you probably answered this already. Who is your favorite artist right
Oh, I guess we were talking about Maxwell a bit, but
now?
um, I even think that like his newer stuff I'm still into. I know that he's on tour right now, I believe, and talking about going to one of those tour dates. So still Maxwell after all these years.
Nice, nice. My favorite artist right now. Yeah, that's kind of hard. Um, I'm I'm gonna I'm gonna say Kendrick. Kendrick.
Okay.
Kendrick been killing it.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of Kendrick, this is my last one. Who would you rather listen to, Kendrick or Drake?
Ooh,
I had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there.
I know, right? I would still say Drake, just based off the catalog and the hits and the kind of sing-alongs. It would still be Drake.
I mean, for me, Drake always had my favorite first three albums, but I think overall, Kendrick. Overall, I like Kendrick overall. Even way before the beef. Even before the beef.
Okay.
But I always like Kendrick. I always like Kendrick though. But Miss Brownie, thank you for coming on the show. It was a really good conversation, and congrats on everything that you are doing with the dating app, being engaged, and everything.
Thank
Keep
you.
killing it. You are doing amazing, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been wanting to be on your show forever. This is an amazing opportunity. I appreciate you.
And thank you for coming on. 'Cause I've been one show on my show for so thank you for coming on. It really means a lot. But before you go, drop your social media where everybody can reach you, and drop where they could check out your articles and where they could download the dating app.
Yeah, you can always go to foxhuntersclub.com to have the download links and social media links there. But on social, it is Fox Hunters Club. Lifeentertainmentnews.com for your entertainment and lifestyle news. Also have that newswire section that I mentioned. That's lifeentertainmentnews.com. And on socials is Life ENT News.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Brownie, again for coming on the show, and thank you, and we'll be right back. I just want to take the time and thank everybody for watching the latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Thank you to my special guest, Ms. Brownie Marie, for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for the amazing conversation that we have. And thank you for sharing the Fox Hunters Club with my audience. And yeah, she's doing an amazing thing. And thank you again, Brownie, for coming to the show. If y'all want to watch more episodes of MrGentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Or check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk podcast with myself and Mr. B every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. And the Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, the Pods, and many more. or you can check it on our official website, www.realmrGentleman.podcast. Once again, thank you everybody for watching this latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV, exclusively on YouTube. Have a good day or night wherever you're watching this episode. You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 8. Cheer!